Sure, I can have a baby after 45. Let me throw these chicken bones. I never thought I'd have a blonde American wife. But when I brought you that ranch dressing, I knew I'd be your dipping sauce for life.
I booked a dream vacation on a tropical isle. I only wanted to bone.
Oh, how could I have known that I'd wind up knocked up and really pissed? Oh, love in paradise, we're planting a banana tree. Love in paradise, have you heard of polyamory? I swear that I can see forever in your giant dick. Love in paradise. It's the size of my arm. Fade it, Gary. Wonderful, wonderful.
Oh my God, Daniel, if I have to tell you one more time that when I'm going on my serving job at O'Charlie's, if you don't unload the dishwasher by the time I get back and you're going to step on the cats, we have 4 cats and that is fine. And I swear to God, we're going to go out with my friends. We're going to go line dancing. And my friends, Amber, Jessica, all the other names of girlfriends who are sounds basic.
She's back.
She's back! Your ranch dressing is back and I'm happy to see her.
I'm so happy to see her.
I honestly have a soft spot for her, and I hated her last season. Remember? I hated her.
You
did. I developed a soft spot for her.
I mean, I feel sorry for Daniel, but we also have to remember, don't forget last season, y'all, Daniel was a fucking man-child and did nothing.
She had to do everything, yeah.
She had to do everything. And so we're still way more than Guillermo and Cara, who is very much like these two. I think they were in the beginning. I don't see them as much like that now. No.
But I think that was my.
So it was just a big shit show. So just remember that, like, if you're watching this season and you're thinking, God, she is so horrible to him. Like, no.
She did have to do everything. He's pretty clueless.
Now, I liked how they showed their season of him, like, ripped and shirtless on the beach, and now he's got a beer gut and he's mowing the lawn in Florida.
He's been eating too much leftover O'Charlie's that she brings home.
That was great fucking edit.
Loaded potato soup. That loaded potato soup loaded his belly.
Loaded. He's still hot with it.
He is still hot.
He's still
You
hot.
can tell he's gained a little bit of weight. You can almost see it in his face too.
No, you can't see it in his face.
They had O'Charlie's in your hometown, right?
No.
Really?
Never
So
heard
you don't
of
even
it.
know. You don't remember the rolls?
No.
Is O'Charlie's even still around?
I don't know.
What did I see? What did I see in Columbus, Ohio that I went, I had no idea that was still a thing. I think it was a Bennigan's or an O'Charlie's.
We saw several Bob Evans.
Yeah,
I didn't know that was still. I think Daniel also gets his eyebrows done.
Walking around and he screams. He's just such a loud person.
Well, maybe we'll hear him on the show.
Maybe.
Maybe. All right, y'all. This is Love in Paradise, season 2, episode 3, Reality Bites. Now, we did not get on this. We did not get the scam witch.
No scam witch this time. Abby, Gabby, and Frankie.
No, but let's just jump into it. Let's talk about Danielle and Johan.
Should we start?
Yeah.
Y'all, we just finished our Summer Should Be Fun, the first leg of the tour. But so we're taking July 4th off, and we'll be back there again on the 8th, and our first show in Dallas. And that's your family show. You've already decided.
It is.
And
they're coming.
I think VIPs are sold out.
My first kiss is coming. My friend Jimmy Dawn Stewart's coming. Everybody's coming. And this is too. I want to say this is our first lip that's only on our page.
Was a woman, just to be clear.
Yeah. This is
just making sure.
This is our first. This is our first on Patreon Supercast
Patreon only.
episode only.
Ooh.
So no commercials on this,
shit,
y'all.
motherfucker.
Yeah,
Even
we
though I
still say
cursed
that on the other one.
already.
Yeah, they're not good.
What can I say that gives me freedom? That would
we're
make
not
the
doing
whole
this.
national wide audience.
We're not doing this right now at all. We're not doing
Ooh, you just did it for me. Let's say.
Okay, no, you don't need to say anything because y'all, I am shocked. We had a woman go into explicit detail about the size of her boyfriend's dick and how it, quote, rips her open.
I feel like but you know, she's acting like it's a problem, but she's treating it like she's bragging about it.
I wonder if they're going to edit this when this is on TLC.
Oh, they'd have to. I think maybe not.
Maybe not, but
she did say it rips me open.
She said it rips me. She's like, it's physically impossible because he tears me apart. And I went, what the fuck is happening on this show between this?
Vaginas are supposed to be very resilient.
Well, they're I think more resilient than an asshole, but I don't know.
I thought so.
I thought so. Lube's your friend, y'all. When it's a big, super duper big, and it's a big, super duper big penis, you got to use lube.
Lots of it. And lots of it.
Yeah.
Where are we?
I say that super duper because I've told you that story before, right?
What? I'm afraid to ask.
So when my dad was married to his second wife, Brenda, who talked like that and looked like the woman from Something About Mary, I still need to tell the story about when they got divorced and my dad and Aunt Peggy and Darla were spying on her. But anyway, one day, you know how brothers kid each other? Well, my brother and I always forever had just joked about each other's dicks because that's what a lot of brothers do. And so we were in front of Brenda and my dad, and he said something about, I don't remember. And Brian said something about like joking about me having a small dick. He said, my oldest nephew, Dylan, was learning. He was like 2 at the time. And he was learning about like boys have a penis, girls have a vagina.
Yeah.
And Brian said to Dylan, he said, well, Uncle Matt. And Dylan looked at me and said, Uncle Matt has a pee-pee. And then Brian kind of joked to my brother and said, well, Uncle Matt has a pee-pee, kind of. Just making a joke. And so, no, it's like a joke that my brother and I do. It wasn't meant like a gay joke. He would say it normal.
No, I'm fine. I guess I just didn't know it would be in front of your father and his new wife.
Yeah. Really? That's surprising you when you know my family?
Just, when the family has no boundaries. That's just another...
So Dylan then learned, he would say, Uncle Matt has a pee-pee, kinda. And so for some reason, my stepmother, Brenda, looked right at him and said, Dylan, y'all got to imagine, she's got fried blonde, big hair, just teased up like 4 inches. Her eyelashes, bless her heart, look like spider legs. She has so much mascara on, and she's tan as can be, laid out every day. Anyway, she looked right at Dylan. She said, nuh-uh, Dylan, Uncle Matt has a super duper big pee-pee, I bet. And that's where we all got uncomfortable.
Wow. Again, no boundaries. This should have been your first sign when you're talking about your stepkid's genitalia.
Y'all, this is the same stepmother who said, is that a new phone?
When you came out and your father was starting to weep.
She didn't know what to say. Anyway.
Well, is that a new phone? Still, one of my favorite stories of all time because of the complete horror that's happening there and her thinking she was disarming it slightly.
Anyway. But the fact that Danielle's going I stand anyway, but they're talking this, y'all. This is all, I don't know if we're going to go through. I don't know how you feel about this, but I'm just kind of like rolling my eyes at all this baby stuff.
No, y'all, she doesn't want to have her baby. Let's be clear. This is how you know. Unless they just decide to film this in the DR. But if she was really concerned, she would have already gone to a fertility specialist.
That's
in
what
New
I
York.
think too. She lives in New York City.
I was thinking they just maybe wanted to film it for the show, but it feels faked for the show.
It does. It does
Yeah.
feel fake for the show. And also, too, it's kind of hard for me to watch. I know he doesn't mean to do this. I'm all about somebody having faith. But this whole thing of Johan, like we put it in God's hand. I'm like, you don't understand how that makes a woman feel like that something is even more wrong with them, that God can't fix their body.
Right.
And there's
Yeah,
nothing wrong with her.
I think she doesn't see it that way, but I
I
think
feel like she doesn't.
she is seeing it in the way of almost the irresponsibility. She uses it as a judgment on him, which I can kind of understand. She's like, how could someone not think they have to take any responsibility and let's just let God handle everything? And this is someone who puts their faith in nuts that fall on the floor in chains. So she believes everything else. She's like, no, I need to do a little agency. My spiritual advisor can tell me, but I still have to do things.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they go to the fertility clinic, and sure enough, we check out, and basically, they're and she even
She's got no fibroids and the uterus looks good, but she says the egg count is very low.
And she even brings up, and I think this is going to become an issue, where she says, I know Johan is really faithful, but it is funny. It made me laugh when she said, putting everything and just leaving it up to your faith is not taking your own responsibility. And I went, bitch, we just saw you in New York with your fucking, I don't know if it's called a priest or a healer or whatever.
Spiritual advisor.
A spiritual advisor. You literally gave up all your responsibility to him to tell you, like, come on, girl, come on.
It's slightly different because what she is doing is she's trying to stack the deck in her favor.
Yeah,
by
that's true.
someone telling her something. And so in a way, she is trying to help it out. What she's doing, though, like that, the whole rose quartz breaking, and what she's doing is she's already trying. She's using her faith in almost the opposite way. Instead of putting everything on, she's trying to see almost all the negative things that can happen and using her faith to justify it.
That is true. She goes always to the negative, and he's always like super positive, and they don't meet in the middle at all.
No, they do not. And y'all,
he is gorgeous, though.
Of course he is. I'm 100% convinced she does not want this baby. She does not want to have another baby.
Yeah, I think she wants to be. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why she's talking about, if you notice this, you guys, the talk, yes, IVF is a very expensive procedure. But the first thing she goes to is money. It's not like we can have IVF. How can we make this happen? The first thing is the cost of preventative. Let's not even talk about it.
It's also because he does say, like, the doctor says they would have to have IVF and they would have to get a donor egg. Yeah. Like she doesn't even have an egg for them to use.
With her. Yeah.
And so like the child would not be she can't have a child of her own like DNA.
Right.
And so, which I don't know if he got that.
She thinks he might, I don't know if he got it, but she thinks he might have a problem with.
And that potentially leave her. Because he never does say, he never says, it's okay if we are unable. He says, it will work out. We will have a baby. That's what he keeps saying.
Yeah. I feel, even though they're using a translator, I don't feel like this relationship is that deep and they're really understanding one another.
No, it's a completely sexual party boy relationship because remember, y'all, he's a fuck boy. And that's what he
says he has feelings for her. So I don't know if he's like full fuck boy status, but
that's probably true. I should back that up. No, definitely not like I think like other people on the show.
Yeah.
But you know what? I think probably in a way she wants to be. I'm backing that up because I think she wants to be a fuck girl more than he wants to be a fuck boy. And the reason I say that, meaning like. She wants this. Why I think you're 100% right. Why she doesn't have this baby. It's at the end when she's crying and they're sitting on the bench and she looks up and says something like, I'm paraphrasing, but she said something like, "This doesn't really feel like paradise."
Yeah, no.
And I went,
This is all kink that she had when she was there, and
She still wants it to be this paradise party. She doesn't want to have a kid. She just wants to live a life of going to beaches and traveling and probably taking cute Instagram photos with her really hot man and getting dicked down
Yep.
by his amazing penis. That's the size of the
that
leg.
rips her apart.
I'm telling you, I know a way that you can pay for this IVF, and it's called Fans of Only or OnlyFans. That's the way you get. He would make this in a month.
I do have to say, they went to the fertility clinic right after that he had plundered her vagina in such a way. And I was thinking that doctor's looking in there going, holy fuck, what happened in here?
Whoa, a little red. It's a little red in here. Something happened.
So we're using her words here.
Yeah.
She says he ripped her apart. So all I can think of is the doctor just pushing things aside.
Going, whoa. Wow.
We had a really loud party in here.
That's Wait, is that a base camp? Is that a base camp in that fallopian tube? What are there people in there?
I was just thinking, this is like a trashed hotel room.
Yeah.
What went wrong here?
Whoa.
Is that a dead hooker?
Is that a syringe? Was Def Leppard in here?
That's exactly what she said.
That's
but
what
they
she
did
said.
it the day after.
It is, yeah, it is. When she said the words, he tears me apart, I went,
Okay.
wow.
Now,
Anyway.
it may have been done for effect, but damn. But from what I've heard, their vagina is very resilient, but maybe hers isn't, or that's maybe she's just being colorful with her language. But the way she made it felt like a condemned house.
It did. It did. Condemned.
Oh.
Anyway.
I was just like thinking he's gonna look at her just pushing away scaffolding.
Yeah, just like, yes. It looks like a place where like the Batman would beat up the Joker in there.
Yes.
All right. Shall we move on to ranch dressing? I
didn't have a lot about them. Let's move on to chicken fingers and ranch dressing and Daniel. Again,
yes.
I did not like her on their first season. I grew to tolerate her halfway through, and I wound up liking her because I really do feel they love one another.
Oh, for sure.
And it's not, and I don't feel that she's just like kidnapping Dick from Costa Rica. Like I feel like Danielle is trying to do. She's just trying to go down there and rent a Dick and bring him back with her to New York.
Yep.
And I believe they now, do I believe she's hard to live with? That would be a yes.
Yes.
And she has plenty of that Florida, USA entitlement, enough to go around. So
she does. I mean, the fact that, well, anyway, y'all, they met 3 years ago. They are already married. They got married on 90 Day Diaries, I think, if you wanted to watch it.
And they did it in a smart way because they didn't do 90 Day Fiancé, and they had a courthouse wedding quickly so they could get his work permit quicker, which is the more realistic way. But y'all, we wouldn't have a 90 Day Fiancé without it. Let's be honest.
We wouldn't. But I think it's delayed because probably of COVID, I guess. Yeah. But it's been now like 8 months now, which is a long time. It shouldn't take that long. It's been delayed 8 months now that he hasn't had work. And
she bought a house the weekend they got married. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. For some reason, I thought her job was something in like HR or personnel. I don't know why. Maybe that's just Amber. Maybe that's what I'm thinking.
Maybe
I thought she was a server.
But now she's a server at a restaurant. So I thought so too. I thought it was more of an administrative job. Maybe she quit her job to go down there.
Or maybe we really never knew. But so she had savings, obviously. But unless you're at a really nice restaurant, you guys, they're trying to change this. You don't have full benefits as a server.
No.
You have to be especially in Florida. You have to have, it's it can be money, but you're not. A lot of times, it's like she'll be on Obamacare because they're not going to give you benefits.
No, and she's a saver. So, I mean, the house it's a very cute, modest house. I will say Daniel doesn't know how to paint. She is painting correctly, and Daniel says you need to paint up and down. That is not the way you paint. You paint in like a W. That's how you paint.
But you know what? At least it was nice to hear him say something instead of her saying, "Daniel, you're gonna do it like this."
Yeah, and like he got she's like, "Daniel got the pan on the floor." He's like, "Oh, you clean it. It's fine.
Now,
you clean."
What's interesting is she did say she said at least she's been upfront about this, so there's a little bit more healthiness here. She's like, Daniel's not working, and I've become a little resentful that he's not, and it feels like it's on me to do everything. And so at least that's out in the open instead of not saying it, like someone like Patrick from Patrick and Tice would say, well, spend all your money, just then like throwing it out there. At least.
So this is, I don't think it's fraudacity, but I'm surprised that he's not working. Maybe it's because he is on the show, but if he works in construction, it is very easy to work in construction and get paid under the table.
That is true. Maybe they're worried about saying that and being on the show.
Oh, they wouldn't do it, but I wonder if they're doing that.
Oh, I see. He actually is working. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know a lot about that. I do know a lot of the people who work with my brother.
Maybe don't say that for your. Well, I'm editing that out of the show.
No, please don't report my brother. No, well, like, there is a history of people who are working undocumented. For construction and jobs like that. Oh, you're gonna okay,
yes,
fine. I'll say it. Now we're back. But you're right. There is a history of people working in, especially industries of construction and things like that, who are undocumented and without work permits.
Yes.
There is a history of that. So maybe he is, or maybe they didn't want to because of the show. Maybe he just says, "I don't want to do it." Maybe until I get that. So I don't know. But you're right. It's so they also, y'all, her sister is living with them because she needs more money for the house.
She needs more money for the house.
And there are 4 cats.
This montage of Daniel saying, everywhere I go, there's cat. When I try to sleep, there's a cat. There's a cat on my feet. There's a cat in my head. And I went, this is starting to sound like a Dr. Seuss poem here, the way he describes it. But
there was a cat on my head. There was a cat that needed to be fed. There was a cat that sat on my lap. There was a cat that had a pap smear.
that didn't work so well.
I really should have thought about lap.
Yeah, that's true. It's true.
Yeah.
Nap.
There was a cat that took a nap. I think pap smear is funnier, although it doesn't
I
rhyme.
think so too.
The cats, I've named these Minnie, Flossie, Golden, and Bob.
Bob. And so, but he talks about there's literally no privacy, and but so she's getting ready to go eat, and Daniel says, "Can you sit here for 1 second?"
No, server for a job.
I'm sorry, to go, sir, to work. Yes, she's going to work, and he's like, "You sit," and he said, "So because I have this background in construction, can I make the room in the back? Can I turn that into a bathroom so we can have a big bathroom?" They cut to all 3 of them in the bathroom, and Daniel fucking asking for body wash.
Now, honestly, this is shades of Emily and those 5 adults living in one bathroom and with one bathroom.
Yeah.
But 3 people in a small house in one bathroom is also a lot.
But it is unrealistic for him to making over a bathroom. Besides a kitchen, is the most expensive thing you can do. It's
very expensive, and y'all, it always costs more than you think. I think in general, he's thinking of as when he'd be hired by construction and things like that, they would pay him. He didn't think about the seed money that it took just to pay for that.
Yeah. And also,
he is still young. I think he's 23, 24. Am I wrong?
And he is very young. And they didn't say this in the episode, but we find out, I think, the reason she doesn't want him to redo the room is because that's where fucking her gay best friend's gonna live. That he doesn't know about yet. Ashton.
Ashton, oh my God, I love working with you. I like how we make fun of all the customers. Yeah, God. I will have more to say about Ashton later.
We will.
So I wish, though, instead of telling him, I pay all the money, Daniel. And so I make all the money. So it's it doesn't matter what we need to do. And it's that's not really important for me right now. It is the way she says it. And I know, y'all, we've known Amber. She gets very stressed, and it usually comes out as anger or being fed up with something. Mm-hmm. It's easy to take something like her anger, which it's really not about him at all. It's about how stressed she is about money, which is, she is wound tighter than Dick's hat band.
She is, and the way that this is where she first says in her testimonial, well, when he makes money, that's when he can have an opinion and say and things. And I went,
that sounds gross.
That's gross American entitlement bullshit, especially when you're the one that she talks about. I paid all this money to have you come over here and do this. I'm like, yeah, and y'all chose to do that together, but he can't even work.
It's very pot-hasty to talk like that.
It's very pot-hasty, but it's also kind of what you said, with Cara and Guillermo, give him something. Give him something. To me, I think how great that I have a partner that wants to do something and just doesn't want to sit here and play video games all day. He wants to work on something. He wants to better our lives.
And can you imagine if Libby did something like that with Andre when he couldn't work? It's you don't get an opinion. Can you imagine?
Oh, can you? No.
Yeah. But I'm just saying that kind of, we've seen that before, but never as direct. And so I understand why there's going to be a lot of hate coming for Amber on this. Yeah. I just thought it's just an extension of what she's done before. I think she's a well-meaning person. That's just fucking gross American entitlement. It just is. Call it out when we see it.
Speaking of, let's go line dancing, everybody.
Oh my God. Let's call up Monica and Ashton and Courtney and Jen. They're all my friends.
Yes. So they go line dancing. It does
Daniel
feel
says, your friends are a mess.
He's they're a mess. And when you're with them, you get messy. You're drinking. He's I don't like this.
He also thought that was just Amber on vacation. And he realized, no, that's Amber every Saturday at Billy Bob's.
Yep.
Or wherever they go.
Yeah.
Or at Dallas Bulls or
Arbuckle Ballroom. Arbuckle Ballroom, that was ours.
That is not they need to find more names than Arbuckle.
Well, it closed now, but that's I
don't care.
There's not any line dancing really anymore.
So I like him when he's like, let's do this. And so they're line dancing, and of course, it's shots time. And he's saying, Amber, don't get too drunk. And their gay friend is there. And I'm like, as soon as we see the guy at the table and he's got dark eyelashes and good skin, I'm like, oh, that's their gay friend. That's that obvious.
That's their gay. And so
you would see a straight guy who looked like that here in Los Angeles, y'all, not in Seminole, Florida.
Florida.
That is a gay guy who sticks out like a sequined thumb.
Is it Seminole or Sarasota? I thought they're in Sarasota.
Seminole.
Oh, they're Seminole.
Seminole, Florida. I don't know where that is, but
I guess it's going to be up.
I don't know.
On Florida.
They keep showing beach pictures, so it's got to be there, right? What if it's just an inland shithole? Look it up, please. We really do rag on Florida a lot on this show.
You can't say gay in Florida. I think we can rag on them right now. Yes.
I'll let you. I'm going to talk while you find where Seminole is.
Seminole, Florida is. Let's see.
That's the FSU mascot and the Indian tribe.
Oh, it's so you know how there's Tampa, and then you know how there's there's Tampa's in a bay because there's a little peninsula that shoots out where St. Petersburg is.
Yep.
So in Clearwater,
it's nowhere near that.
No, it is not at all. It's on the other side. No, I'm kidding. That's where Seminole is. It looks
so it's close to it.
That's what it looks. Yeah, that's where it is. It's close to all that. So that's why it's always close to the. Wow, they could run into Natalie.
Libby and Andre. Oh, it's near St. Pete's?
Yeah, because isn't Libby and Andre in Clearwater?
No, Clearwater. No, Libby and Andre are in. They're in Tampa.
They're all right Tampa. There. What a little pocket of goodness of 90 Day.
And Natalie's in St. Petersburg.
And Courtney is from that area too, isn't she?
Courtney's in Orlando now.
Oh. The city where dreams are made of.
That show needs to come back. I can't believe I said that. Except
no, it does not right now.
Except without the identical twins who married each other and without Pang Pang. I'm fine with anybody else.
No more Pang Pang. Any time for more shows.
No more blonde twins with the other twins who I think they have a suicide pact if one ever leaves them.
We do.
So y'all, they're talking.
She's trying to get Daniel to dance. He doesn't want to dance. She's like, please.
We're going to do partner. We're going to dance. I want to be like partner salsa and bachata, sexual dancing. And not just like doing boot scoot boogie on a line dance.
Which I want to say
very, very, very country Western American.
Well, I want to say that is the reason why they made this dance. So that way men and women wouldn't be dancing and holding one another. That's one of the reasons why I think
interesting.
All this, yeah.
So it's all about the puritanical nature of America.
A lot of it is, let's just have fun. Everybody, there's nobody touching anybody. We can do this at church lock-ins. It'll be great.
This doesn't sound fun at all. I want to be grinding up on people.
I'm telling you right now, line dancing was invented by Baptists. I know it was. You can't tell me otherwise.
I never enjoyed it because I wasn't able to like grind up on someone or put my hands on their body.
Yeah, you're kind of like Daniel. You're sexual when you dance.
So, y'all, we do meet Ashton, her gay friend.
Who she calls her best friend. He's her best friend.
Right. And they work together serving. So, y'all, if you've ever worked serving, if you're a woman and you've ever worked serving with a gay guy, they're the meanest motherfucker in the world because that was me as a server.
They're the meanest. But the fact that Amber is friends with him, y'all, solidifies even more. Amber is our people, and I think she's a
sissy, y'all.
She's a sissy, and she's a dick pig, and she's going to have to do a lot for me to not like her.
I think it is. Her entitlement really bothers me, but there's something about her that is endearing to me that makes it okay. I feel like we're being sold a storyline that I think we're seeing the worst of her here. Because we saw the worst of her at the beginning, and near the end, she was trying to. Y'all never forget that scene in the car where he's falling asleep. It's like, Daniel, you need to answer these podcasts.
Yeah,
we did a meeting thing about it. What is my favorite chicken finger sauce? Daniel,
it's so good.
When was I born? Who's my friend? What's my mother's name?
It was so good.
Oh, she was great fodder.
She was great fodder.
I think we've talked to her a couple times on Instagram, and not y'all. She gets the joke. She's a blonde woman from Florida. She gets it.
She gets that.
Yeah.
I didn't know this was going to happen so early, but y'all, she's back. I think it's time for our first. This is our first Love in Paradise
lip theater. First lip theater.
We're not going to service. Lip service. We're not going to sing because we're remote, but go. I'm in Oklahoma. He's in LA.
It doesn't sync up and it bothers me.
It bothers Poodle. All right. Poodle's going to be playing role of Amber because we believe he played Amber last time. So we like to be that's one of the only things we're consistent on.
Consistency is the hallmark of reality games.
Yeah. You know what? People are going to be like, actually, it was Maddie last time. And we're going to be like, sorry.
We don't remember.
I feel 95% sure it was you. So I believe.
I'm drawn to usually entitled naggy women.
Yeah.
So
Poodle will be playing Amber, and I'll be playing Ashton. So,
Yes.
and scene.
Woohoo! It was such a good time. I love being out with all my friends, and that includes you, girl.
Oh, you
Oh,
too,
so
girl.
gonna be out of O'Charlie's.
Amber, let's just stop doing shots and come over here, Amber, and let's talk. Let's talk. Amber, no. Amber, you're gonna smudge your eyeliner I put on. Come over here and
oh my
sit.
God, you're so good at that. I love you. Can we
I
make
love
out
you
later?
too.
It's okay that I have a friend.
Honey,
It's
we
okay
don't
that I
do
have a
that
husband.
now. Remember, that's one of the reasons why I got divorced. So we
but
can't do
you're such
that
a good
anymore. And you have a husband.
kisser.
No, you have a
You
husband
had
now,
a
Amber.
husband, and look what happened.
Exactly. That's what. By the way, girl, thank you for letting me move in with you into your house. I appreciate that so much.
About that.
Yeah. Did you tell Daniel yet? We talked about that, Amber.
Yeah.
Did you tell?
I haven't told him yet because he's like
girl.
He's we're fighting, and like I feel like he has no say because I make all the money. So it's like, what is he gonna do?
So in my head, I'm screaming right now, but I'm going to be nice and say, while I can see the validity at that point, girl, remember I got divorced because I didn't tell my husband shit, girl. Remember?
Yeah, that's true. Like when you were like, that's kind of like, and you were okay with like hiding like 4 kilos of cocaine in the storage room of O'Charlie's. And
first of all, I don't like to talk about me being in O'Charlie's ever because because it makes me bloated. But it's so good. God, I love those cheese sticks.
Soup? Oh my God.
Yes, but
our burgers are still the best.
But you don't talk to someone. Soon you're just you're going through the motions, and the next thing you know, you're dating a manager of Wet Seal and wondering why you're divorced. So Amber, listen to me. You've got to talk to Daniel.
I love their leggings, though.
They are so cute.
I missed Robert's discount.
Oh God, Robert, such a nice dick. But girl, anyway. I love you. Please tell him, please. I love you.
Here's the thing. You're gonna give me $500 more a month. So like he has no absolute say in the matter because he doesn't pay any rent. He doesn't do anything. So I make all the decisions. Got it? I make the decisions. Woo! There's a bull over there. Let's ride the bull.
And scene.
Oh, Ashton, y'all, I don't know where they work, but let me tell you one thing: the conversations they have about customers are awful.
Oh, they talk about customers, but what is funny to me is that like he really is like, bitch, I'm trying to keep it real with you, and she is not hearing it.
He's basically insinuating that his marriage broke apart because of communication issues.
Of lies.
Y'all, I guarantee you, one of them thought the marriage was open.
Yep. That usually is what it is.
Trust me, I've been there. Not in an open marriage, but the open one. The third.
The third.
And then I found out, wait, the other person thought it was a close marriage.
Oh.
When you get that knock on your door at 3 a.m. Sebastian, you're in there with that whore.
It's never happened to me, but I think about things a little.
And y'all, they're just at the end. She's riding a mechanical bull like a woohoo girl and spill her drink everywhere.
Yeah, I'll tell him tomorrow. So we'll see how that goes. Let's talk about Ariana and Sherlon, shall we?
Do we have to? By the way, did you catch the two friends' names? I completely wasn't looking up.
Yes, there's Corbin and Paige. And Corbin and Paige.
Up. Her name is you. It sounds like you just made up those names.
No, they're Corbin and Paige. And Corbin and
of course they are.
Because they're all
Corbin and Paige.
They're wearing way too much makeup in a daytime look.
It's
all three of them.
Like this is 11:30. They're still doing brunch.
Yeah, so Ariana goes and meets her friends, and she sits down, and she's like, "Well, I'm about to leave for Jamaica." And they're basically, y'all, they can see that this isn't where, again, everyone sees but Ariana.
Okay. I have been saying since this season began, 3 episodes, Ariana has no friends. Or why will her friends not level with her? Y'all, these aren't good friends because they're not actually leveling with her. They're asking her questions,
Well,
But maybe Ariana isn't that friend who would ever listen. Maybe she'd
I
get
think
mad at one of them.
I think that's it. I think because think about the way she acts with Sherlon. He basically has told her, and she doesn't take. I think actually, it's not that they're bad friends. I think they're trying to be nice friends because they said things like to her, like, girl, that's a big red flag. So they're trying to give
Red
her warning.
flags.
Yeah, and they try to say things like, because there's something that happens, this is why. So last people commented on our Patreon, they're like, I don't think Sherlon's a fuckboy. And I went, no, Sherlon is a fuckboy because, and we knew it. I don't think he's going to, and I do worry about Ariana weaponizing the kid against him.
100%.
At the same time, I don't think Sherlon's going to do anything to try to make an effort to be a father in his son's life. I just don't. And she brings up, he hasn't even filed the paperwork to put his name on the fucking birth certificate. Y'all, that's not a complicated thing to do. You fill out a piece of paper, you take it to a courthouse or you get it notarized, you sign it in front of someone, you send it to her. That's it. He has to do the least amount of work.
Now, this is a huge red flag, you guys. If that's now the fact that she has allowed this, or that she did not put a boundary and say until you file the paperwork, I'm not coming. Then the fact that was not a boundary set by her is very telling. That it's all codependent shit now. It's just she's gonna force him into being in a relationship with him, to being in a relationship with her. Now the friends do
because
say
also I just want to say this, because guess what happens too if he files the paperwork and puts his name on the birth certificate? Child support, and it'll probably be easier for him to get into the U.S.
Yeah,
and she does, and she wants that, but he doesn't.
Yeah, I don't think he wants to go to the U.S.
Y'all look at Daniel. He wants to. This guy works at a fucking swingers club in Jamaica. He wants to live the life of luxury.
Sherlon.
He doesn't. He does. I know. No, I said, look at Daniel. Sherlon doesn't want to be Daniel.
Oh, I see.
Fucking mowing the lawn in Florida or wherever they live in Quincy,
Seminole.
Illinois.
Oh, he does. I see. I'm confused.
I was making the comparison. Yeah, sorry.
Okay. So they are. And at one point she's like, on my end, she's like, I think I'm in an exclusive relationship with Sherlon. What has given you that? That's something you made up in your head, honey.
And unless
he's never said that we heard.
I feel like that we would have heard him say that if that was on, and we have not seen that at all.
He is such a good talker.
He'll
say things like, we need to work on our love.
He's avoidant. He's very avoidant.
Yeah. We've grown distant and we need to work on our relationship.
Because he talks like a boy and it's avoidant.
And y'all, when the friends hear, she's like, but he also works at a swingers resort. And the blonde friend at one point, you can actually see her face kind of crack.
You see Corbin going, oh God, Ariana, what the fuck?
Y'all, when Ariana left, because of course she had to go take care of her kid from her mom, these two friends stayed and talked about how fucked she was.
They were like, oh my God.
They ordered 3 more mimosas and got day drunk.
They date and then she tells him a story about how he left his phone. He butt dialed her and she heard him talking with another woman and laughing and giggling and singing. And then when she called him back later,
he lied about it. It's just like the problem here is I would love to put all the blame on Sherlon, but I don't think that's what's happening. She just can't see the truth. And yes, he might be lying to her in one way or another, but come on, honey. Wake up.
I think it's shared pretty equally. I think he is a very, like you said, a smooth talker, and he doesn't want to be the bad guy. So he always wants to make her feel like he is leading her on, but he's also giving her so many signals to say, I'm not interested. And
because he'll never break up with her. He'll never break up with her.
No, it is sad to me that probably Ariana I bet she wouldn't behave this way if they didn't have a baby. She'd be like, fuck this guy.
She would not. I agree with you.
And it is sad that she probably is just telling herself, if there's any chance I can make this work for my child's father, I'm going to do whatever I can. And that breaks my heart.
And let me tell you, I'm going to take issue with what you just said. I think it is much less about making sure Sherlon sees his kid instead of we're going to be a family.
I agree. I agree with that.
I think what you're saying and what you're saying and what I'm saying is very different.
I agree. Actually, I agree with that because it does. When you say that, that's true. She does kind of almost use, we worry about her weaponizing the kid to keep Sherlon from him, but she also kind of weaponizes a kid as the way of why they need to be in a relationship.
Yes.
Really.
This is what she conflates. We've been saying this since last season. She's conflating the fact that they have a child together, that they should be together in a romantic relationship. Number one, that's the first thing. B, they should be a family that is together and a family that is in the same place, perhaps, that they need to work on their relationship. None of these two things he wants.
No.
And he just won't say it. The other thing I think we have not, I think he probably does say this to her, but we don't hear any time they FaceTime when they, and maybe the show edits this, we don't hear anything from him about so glad to talk to you, so glad to see you.
No.
So either she's making it all up in her head,
even when
they're not airing.
She shows up. Yeah, they're not.
Oh,
but I don't think that
was brutal.
Even when she shows up in Jamaica, he never even hugs her.
Doesn't even hug her. He takes the kid and the kid cries because it's a stranger. But it's so funny. She says, and that's when he said, "This is love at first sight. This is the best day of my life." He's like, "It's all about
you talking
Odin."
about me? Oh, oh.
But yeah, he doesn't even hug her, y'all.
No.
And in the car, he says, in the car, she's like, "And on this trip, Sherlon's going to change all the diapers and he's going to do all the daddy things." And I'm like, boy, that's just, if that's not a panty dropper for him, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
To get him. What is her goal with this? Is that to make him enjoy? Is she trying to kind of get back at him for not being there?
It's like she wants this instant Ozzie and Harriet. It makes no sense.
Or saying, you're going to get a taste of your own, you're going to learn how to be a father because that's going to make him say, "Oh, I think I like this."
Yeah.
And
why did I say Ozzie and Harriet? That's the most dated reference ever.
I didn't. It's normal for you. I've never seen that show.
What? Oh, I love that show. I had such a crush on Ricky Nelson.
I have a feeling that was on Nick at Night. I never watched Nick at Night.
Ricky and David Nelson. Talk about a pair of hot brothers. Oh.
Let's not talk about Nelson incest, please.
Well, no. And now, I wonder what Nelson the band's up to, the twins.
I think nothing's been heard of them for a while. I'm sure someone can tell us.
Oh, so sad.
After the rain, that was Nelson's.
Yeah.
After the rain,
now after the rain,
yeah.
And then also Love and Affection.
That was them too.
Can't
yeah.
live without your
love and affection. Yeah, that was them too.
We just had someone go, "Oh my God, I'm the biggest Nelson fan ever."
And I just go, I don't care what they are.
Okay.
Shall we talk about Two Top time? Is it Two Top time? That sounds like I'm working a restaurant again. Is that Two Top available? Is that Two Top available?
So Two Tops walk into a bar. Yeah, it's some.
But we found plenty of things to do.
Okay, I have a theory.
I also have a theory. Let's hear yours first. They woke up together. I
think Matt Sharp is a dick pig. Because we've heard about Danielle talking about Johan's big, huge dick. And now we hear about Valentine and Carlos. Literally, the conversation is how big their dicks are.
I think Matt Sharp is a ratings pig. And he knows that dicks are ratings.
You know what I think? I think Matt Sharp has listened to our show and seen that we have all of his listeners and their dick pigs. And he went and he says, Miranda, I've been listening to this podcast. It's popular. We got to put more dicks in the show, Miranda.
Time
More
to crack the
dicks.
dick pig market. Oh, we're going to break this wide open, Miranda. Give me... he's like an old man smoking a stogie.
Yeah.
Just eating a bowl of sauerkraut.
Miranda, what do you think about a story with two tops? And there's a lot of, and they just keep saying the word penetration.
Penetration over and over again.
What's your theory?
They were talking about I was talking about what they did sexually. So they said, and he said this later too, you're a good lover, I'll give you that. And you're a big dick and it's thicker than I thought. All these things we all knew. He has a thick dick. They both have big dicks.
Yeah.
So they said we had lots of things to keep us occupied. My first thought was, y'all, one of them fucked the other's armpit or underneath their knee or something. Because
you can do that.
Or like fucked in between their feet. That was my thought. I went to all the ways they could fuck something
because we've all been fucked those ways. I can't tell you, and it's usually been for me. I don't, because he mentions feet.
People have fucked my armpit before,
and I don't know. I've been with many men who like my feet and have fucked my feet. I can't. If I had a nickel for every time I had semen on my toes, y'all, I wouldn't be doing this show.
I've had that happen. I'm not really into it. I just let them kind of do it, but I'm
not either.
I'm not going to applaud and Meryl Streep over that like I do about some things.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. You know, they're having a good time. So
exactly. But I do want to say, and Carlos says, I'm satisfied. Valentine says,
I'm not.
This is interesting. And I brought this up and I want to revisit it and see what you think now. About different love. And
no, I agreed with you then. I think it's even more apparent.
I thought you weren't convinced. I'm sorry.
No. Yeah, I said I think you're. I remember you saying like I think his is very emotional and something to prove. Remember, because I said yes because like he wants to use Valentine to come out to his family. It's such a personal, emotional thing to him. And Valentine, it just seems so sexual and non-emotional. Yeah, I agree with that.
I'm sorry. I thought we were differing on that. Maybe not. Because I think
you're just used to me not agreeing, and it's rare that we both are like. I'm like, yeah.
No. I think with this, and I think it's even harder now because Valentine. This is the exact words. I want to make sure I wrote this down because you can see where he's going. I'm thinking about a lot of the things that we can do and the possibilities.
Yes.
So, y'all, I want to make sure our terms are clear. Valentine says he is polyamorous, which means, just to be very clear, this means you think it is possible to love more than one person, and you can be in a relationship in polyamorous and amor love. So you can love in a three or foursome, and you love. There is a loving relationship between all these people. An open relationship is not that. An open relationship is specifically defined as a relationship that is between two people, and they are not mutually exclusively sexual with each other.
Yes, and now there can be an open relate. I forgot what it's called. It's called
it can be both.
Now there are though mono-poly relationships where one person is monogamous and another person is poly. So, however,
not so. You mean that one person will? I think that's poly. Oh, I see what you're saying. So one person.
No, I know for sure. Yeah, I have a friend who is in one, and so they're in them like they are mono, meaning they just want to be with their partner, but their partner identifies as poly. So they're not with other people, but their partner is.
And when you say poly, you mean polyamorous when the love is accepting. So in other words, does that poly person able to confess their feelings of love for the person that they're with?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's Boy, if I was I would not be able to do that. I'm telling you right now.
No, but I only bring that up because just because an open relationship or a polyamorous relationship, both people in the relationship don't have to be poly, or both people don't have to
Totally
be open.
agree.
There can be, but I bring that up because, like you said, Carlos is not going to be able to do that.
No, absolutely not.
No.
I want to specify this is the feeling. Polyamory meaning having feelings. There's a very big difference between having feelings with someone than just having sexual encounters. I know that's strange for some people.
In polyamory, usually you have a relationship with someone. Yeah. So it's like someone you go to dinner with, you might go on vacations with.
Well, however you express love.
Yeah. But it is, the way he does talk, he's like, we could do all these things. And that's when he says, you got a big dick. I got a big dick. We got a lot of love.
And to me, he is, maybe I'm wrong here. He is only conflating sex with adding another person in.
He says poly, so I'm going to believe his words, but the way he talks about it sounds like an open relationship.
Yes, that's what it keeps. It makes me, I would want to ask him what he thinks polyamory is and get into, in other words, if he has what, and you can define your relationship any way, but I feel like Carlos would be more open to an open relationship than a polyamorous one where there are feelings involved.
Because often too, someone who's polyamorous could maybe they're with their couple A, but then maybe they're with one other person, but it doesn't mean that they're having sex with a bunch of people. It means they're only in relationship.
An open relationship, an open relationship is a catch-all term for anything where two people are not completely monogamous and it's agreed upon from both of them.
I think the whole point of this, it kind of doesn't matter what we're saying because it's all about what rules you make for yourselves as a couple and make sure that your values and your rules are in an agreement. And that's what we're saying is there's not any values or agreement in this relationship.
No. And I just don't even think their terms are clear.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's not going to go good.
And what I'm hearing is every time Valentine talks about it, it is in terms of sexuality.
Yeah.
And what he needs to, he even said, we need to find a bottom who is primarily that.
Yeah.
And that's the first parameter. Now, what is interesting, and I wrote this down, we're going to go back. Valentine is already talking about polyamory when they've met for the first time. For the dinner. And maybe I'm old school. Work on your own relationship first.
You're not. I will speak from a therapeutic perspective, and doing like couples counseling and all that, and having a lot of friends that the friends that are successful in open or poly relationships are the friends who talk about it for a long time. They're the friends that go to couples therapy. They're the friends that their relationship is in a pretty good space before, or at least a strong, even if their relationship is a little rocky, they have some history and trust between one another to navigate uncomfortable feelings. They just met for the first time.
Yeah, you guys, this is why it feels all sexual to me.
Yeah.
He's already bringing it up and says, we're as two tops, we just need to find a bottom and throw around. That's an open relationship. I don't know why we're parsing this.
They don't have any trust.
And it can, exactly. And there's a polyamory has to be built on trust if it's going to work. And there is no trust here. Carlos has been adamant, I assume over the 2 years that they've been speaking on the phone, that Carlos has been adamant that polyamory isn't for me. And Valentine is basically trying to teach him all the ways it is for him.
Yeah.
And it just tells me this is just going to be a massive failure. And because emotions are going to get involved, Carlos is going to get very, very upset. And like I think you said before that you think they could be friends. I don't think that can ever happen. This is going to be a blow up.
Probably seeing it more now. Carlos asking me like, "How did you discover polyamory?" And Valentine says, "Well, he was in love with his ex, but then he was also in love with someone else, and And Carlos, he basically said, like, he doesn't understand because he still says, like, do you do this because you want to play around with other people? He said, because for me, you're with me and no one else. And it's also, and we're going to see this next episode, it also is dealing with, I'm not saying that people that can't be in a poly or open relationship are dealing with shame. So I don't want to equivocate that, but I am saying Carlos is really trying to, I think, fit himself into that binary, heterosexual binary, because he is so uncomfortable still with being gay. And I can relate to that. We all do that a lot. And we're going to see that next week when I think the value issue of Valentine literally dancing and prancing around on stage with his shirt off and at a gay club. And I'm interested to see next week if Carlos is right saying you can't do that here because people are going to judge you and look at you, or if Carlos is in his head about it and nobody cares if Valentine takes his shirt off.
That is true.
I'm interested to see.
The way the promo made it look is that Carlos was talking about it being a safety issue.
Yes, but I'm wondering if I've been
not.
with people who aren't fully out. Like, it's hard for them to be out themselves. And when you're in even a gay space, they still feel uncomfortable. And if it's that, then I think that even that's going to be another roadblock, and that Valentine is not going to want to be with someone he has to handhold to come out.
I agree.
No way.
But I think my big thing here is these people have been talking for 2 fucking years.
I know, but it's as if they don't know each other, isn't it?
I guess
I think it's all
that is exactly what I think.
You, they just fucking FaceTime and fuck and get off.
And that is why, but I think they may talk a little bit, but Carlos has made up all the romantic stuff in his head. Valentine, I don't think I'm not trying to disparage anyone's idea of love, but I don't see this coming as deep from Valentine. I just don't.
No, it just feels. I think polyamory can be fine. That can be a great, meaningful relationship. But they just don't. Again, it's like they just hooked up for the first time and met on an app, and now they're in a room with each other the next day, learning about one another. Made no sense.
I do want to talk about one thing where, this is the classic 90-day scene where someone tries something of the culture, and they either hate it or the American's afraid to do it. And Valentine, they're going to try these like fish eggs, but it's actually a fish egg sack. He's like, this is important to me because I grew up in a fishing town. And he's like, I'm not an adventurous eater. It tastes like chicken gizzards. At least he ate it and didn't pull a Larry. No. And didn't spit it out. So he ate it.
It was funny. He was like, he made a joke. He's like, if I could put soy sauce on it, I'll be like, that was funny.
That was a better way to handle it. This is so interesting. I think this is a great conversation to be had about open relationships, polyamory, and especially in the LGBT community, especially with gay men, because we know a lot of people who are in. It's joked about in San Francisco that every relationship is open, or the polyamory, or in Los Angeles too. And but it's and when some straight people hear about this, they're like, "What?" And like then the other person knows, or like, "You're in a throuple?" Yeah, it's a thing. And
a throuple is different than a polyamorous, but there's a whole. But and some of these relationships work out really. This is not the best representation of that, y'all, because for some people it really works.
That's what I'm worried about.
For some people it works. Yeah, for some people it works. So, but as always, 90 Day Fiancé doesn't really pick the first people to kind of break open a door to be the best representatives.
See footnote Erica and Stephanie.
Yeah, but they're good TV. That's all I got.
Yeah, that's all I got too.
God, I love Lip. God, I love Lip. God, I love Lip. So good.
Lip service.
All right. I'm going to get in my cousin's massage chair and take the day off in Oklahoma and then go into 100-degree heat. But Y'all, thank you so much for listening. If
Thanks
you're
for
new
seeing
to
us on the live tour, on the live show.
yes,
tour, by the
come
way.
see us. Still go to our Linktree link. And if you're new to the Patreon or Supercast because you got sucked into Love in Paradise, welcome. You can also get our class list or our old season. Right now, we're doing season 5 of 90 Day Fiance, so you can listen to that on the
We
Patreon
just
as well.
watched the Owl episode with Luis
Yes.
and Molly.
You can, so good. You can also listen to any of our binges, our Netflix binges. So Love is Blind, Unclassified. What was that one called?
Ultimatum.
Uncompromised. Ultimatum. I knew it started with the U. So anyway,
what's wrong with your brain? We need to charge it. Like
I need to get a
phone.
massage in my cousin's massage chair. All right, everybody. We call these people lonely hearts because aren't we all just lonely hearts looking for love in all the wrong places?
Yes. And if you have a significant other who tears your vagina apart, call
us. And
I
then
just think she could have found a way to say that better.
And then he can call me.